Tu m'entends? C'est bon? Can you hear me? Yes? Ok. Ben, je sais pas comment je fais, moi.
Ouais, c'est ça? C'est ça? À gauche? On sait.
C'est pour aller. No problem. C'est pas sur l'écran?
Ça, c'est les displays. C'est pas ça?
Si, ok. Welcome everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, that's great. So welcome everyone. I'm very pleased to be here with you today. My name is Charlotte. I'm part of the recruitment team of Odoo, and today I will explain you how Odoo attracts and recruits the best talent with its integrated apps. So, as HR managers, you all know that a typical day in HR involves multitasking. We have to organize a day with a lot of meetings, responsibilities, and tasks, and all of this can take a lot of time if you don't have the good resources and organization. So as I was mentioning in this presentation, I will show you how Odoo helps you to manage the whole recruitment process of your candidates very easily and in a fluid way. So you know that I am a recruiter at Odoo, and at Odoo we have the objective of recruiting 200 new candidates for the year 2019. That's huge, even more considering that we are only 3 full-time recruiters to do that. So to be able to do that, one of the main challenges of my position is to attract qualitative new CVs. Of course, ideally, to make me gain time, I would like to directly receive only the best CVs in my mailbox. That means that I have to use the best. Can you hear me well? No? I don't know.
Peut-être le mettre plus haut.
Can you hear me better? Okay, should I continue? Yes, okay, great. So it means that to attract the most qualitative CVs, I have to use the best recruitment channels. And to do that, that implies that I have to maximize the visibility of my job position to make sure that once I open a new job, it will have enough visibility to have enough CVs coming in as well. So when I have received those best CVs, the next challenge now is to have a good follow-up of the whole recruitment process for all my candidates, because of course I do not want to miss the recruitment of a good candidate because I took too much time in my recruitment process or because the candidate got lost in the process. What we want is to provide a great recruitment experience for all the candidates, even if in the end we do not end up making an offer to the candidate. And last but not least, I want to find the most cost-saving strategy to do all of that, because we know that recruitment can be expensive, for instance, when we ask the services of a recruitment agency. So at Odoo, from experience, we have realized that actually 30% from the recruited candidates come from employee referral. So that's a huge number. It means that we have definitely to use this strategy. I don't know if you guys have a referral strategy in your company, but let me give you some key numbers that will show you that this is really a great strategy. So it was a survey that was conducted by the talent blog HR Talent Lift, and 82% of the surveyed company declared that employee referral is the best return on investment for the company, but also for the recruiters. It also shows, and I can only agree with that with my experience at Odoo, that this is one of the most qualitative sources of CVs. The candidates are also 55% faster to hire, and there is a better offer acceptance rate. All of this is due to the fact that the recruitment approach is much more friendly, and there is directly a relationship of trust that is created thanks to the employee referral. However, I believe we can all relate to this situation where you are at a friend's house or casually having a drink at a terrace, and you meet someone who tells you he is looking for a new challenge. That's great because your company is currently hiring new candidates. So you would like this person to send you his CV. So you would like to give him your business card, if you happen to have one, and we know it's not always the case, and then you hope for the person to not lose your card and to think of sending you his CV. So let's be honest, most of the time the CV never reaches your email inbox. So as HR managers, we have to make sure that we provide the necessary resources to our employee to trigger this referral strategy. So I will show you two apps here today. The first one is the Referral app. It's a new app that we have developed for the version 13 of Odoo, and it presents itself as a game where the employees can gain points when they refer candidates, and for each stage of the recruitment process they can gain more points. Then I will show you how you can manage very easily the whole recruitment process of your candidates with the Recruitment app. So let's have a look now. So, of course, the Referral app is available on the mobile-friendly version because, again, the purpose of this app is to have it accessible anywhere at any time. So, let's pretend that I am on my mobile phone now. Here, I am on my Odoo dashboard. So, let me click on the Referral app. And here, I can see a small story that will explain to the employees the purpose of the game. Oh no, villains are lurking the city. Help us recruit a team of superheroes to save the day. Again, this is the story that I have chosen for my own company, but this can definitely be modified based on the needs of your own company. So the story continues to explain the purpose. We can start now. And now the application asks me to choose the avatar of the person I would like to have next to me when my candidates get hired. So I would like to have a robot next to me. So let me choose this one. This is the dashboard of the Referral app. I can see here very clearly that I have currently 3 referrals going on, 2 ongoing and 1 that was already successful. So if I have a look at the ongoing referral, here I see my candidates, I see the different stages of the recruitment process, I see the stage they're at currently, and I can also see that for each stage of the recruitment process I will be able to gain more points. Of course, once the contract is signed, this is where I will receive the more points. So let's go back on the Odoo dashboard. I can see that I'm at the level 1 of the game for the moment and I've earned 111 points for the moment. I've earned enough points to level up, so if I click on my picture, I can see that my avatar has now a cape, and if I level up again, the outfit has changed. Here I have 3 buttons as well. The first one to view all the jobs that are currently open in my company, the second one to email a friend, and the last one to see the rewards. So let's have a look at the rewards. Here I can see that I've earned enough points to buy a beautiful mug, but still not enough to buy an Amazon voucher. Again, this is what my company has decided to offer the employees, but you can very easily create new products based on your own needs. So let's have a look now at the View Job button. So I would like to see the current positions that are open in my company. So I just click here, and here I have all the open positions. So my company is currently recruiting for marketing, for consultant, and an experienced developer. That seems like a great position. If I click on the More Info tab, I am redirected to the job page of my company to have more details on the job. If I go back here, I see that Odoo also enables me to directly generate a link that I will be able to send to my friend, or as well to share it directly on Facebook, on Twitter, or on LinkedIn. Let's imagine now that I would like to refer a friend, so I will create a link for the position of developer. Let me copy the text. Okay, I will close it. I do not need to see it in a mobile-friendly version for the moment, so we can close that. And this is what my friend will see when I will share the link. So I'm the friend now, I'm reading the job description, I can see here the responsibilities, the must-have, nice to have, what's great in the job, what do we offer as a company. Flexible hours, I really like that. I think it's a really great position, so I definitely would like to apply for it. So let me click on apply now, and here I have the job application form where I can put all my data. So my name is Caroline Dupont. I put my email address, carolinedupont@mail.com. I have to put my phone number as well. I can put a small introduction, for instance, I really want this job. And of course I have to upload my resume, so let me check it up. I submit my application, and congratulations, your application has been sent to the HR department. So let's have a look now at the Recruitment app to see what the recruiter will see. So I go back on my Odoo dashboard, I open the Recruitment app, and I go to the Experienced Developer position. I can see here that I have a new application for Caroline Dupont. If I click on it, I can very clearly see here that my candidate was referred by Charlotte Rigaud, so that's perfect. Let's imagine now that the recruiter would like to invite this person for an interview. So if I put the candidate in the first interview stage, this is it. I will go back now to the Referral app to see what it has changed for my referral. So I go back here. I have now 4 referrals with 3 ongoing. Here is Caroline Dupont, and I can see now that I've earned 20 more points thanks to that. So I will show you now the Recruitment app to show you how it is also possible to manage the whole recruitment process of Caroline Dupont. So I'm the recruiter now. I open the recruitment application, and here I have the dashboard with all the open positions. So if you remember, we had a marketing position open, a consultant one, and the experienced developer, of course. So very clearly here I can see the number of applications I still have to review. I can see that it is published on the website, so it's great. Let me open the position. And here I have a very clear Kanban view with all my candidates, with all the different stages of the recruitment process. So here my recruitment process is first initial qualification, then first interview, second interview, but you can again very easily modify the name of the stages here, and you can also add some more if it's needed for your recruitment process. So we will focus on Caroline Dupont today. This is the applicant's form. So I have here all the information regarding my candidate. I have her email address, her phone number. Again, she was referred by Charlotte Trigot. She has applied for the position of experienced developer in the R&D department, and I have all the information that I need. Here at the bottom, I have the chatter with all the communication that I have had with my candidate. And for instance, I can see that Odoo generated an automatic email to my candidate to let her know that her CV has been positively reviewed. Again, you can personalize those automatic emails based on the needs of your company. In the chatter, I have different possibilities. I can send her an email. So for instance, I would like to say, hello, Caroline. I would like to organize a phone interview with you. Could you please send me your availability? Best regards, and I will send the email. So I have the history of all my communications with Caroline that will appear here in the chatter. Once Caroline answers my email, it will also appear here in the chatter, so I can really have the history and see all the records that I've had with her. I also have the options here of logging a note. For instance, if I would like to remember something important about my candidate. For instance, Caroline is Dutch speaker and I really need Dutch speaker in my company. So I will just put Dutch speaker and log the note. So when I open the application, I will see it. I can also ping someone on the application if I would like to have the opinion of someone else, for instance. So here in this case, I would like to ask Laurie Poiret what she thinks about the CV. So I put Laurie Poiret, what do you think of this CV? I log the note. Again, it will appear in the chatter, and I will see that Laurie Poiret will receive a notification to have access to the application and give me her opinion on the CV. I also have the possibility of scheduling an activity. Let's imagine, for instance, that I would like to remember that I have to call Caroline in 2 days if she hasn't answered my email yet. So I can I can decide on the activity type. So here in this case, call. I need to do it in 2 days. And I can put a small summary, for instance, discuss job position. And I schedule it here. Again, on the chatter, I will see the activity. I can mark it as done when it's done. I can edit it, or I can cancel it if it's not relevant anymore. Here I also have all the attachments that I've shared in my conversation with my candidate. For the moment, I just have the CV of Caroline, but if she attaches any other document in one of the email, it will also appear here very clearly. So back at the top of the page, here I can see all the different stages of the recruitment process, and I can very easily as well move her application from one stage to the other. So let's imagine that I would like to invite her for the second interview, and this is done. Finally, I can also directly create an employee form from her own application, or directly send her an offer link if she succeeded all the stages of the recruitment process and I would like to hire this person. So if we go back to the presentation, in conclusion, this presentation has just shown you how all the HR apps of Odoo are really great to manage the whole recruitment process. The Referral app really improves the employee referral rate of your company thanks to the accessibility and easiness of the applications. The integration of all the flows of the apps does not only make your company paperless, which is important, but also it's a huge gain for HR. This gain of time will enable the HR department to really focus on what we like the most in an HR job, the social aspect of the recruitment. all of this will definitely improve the candidate recruitment experience, and we know how this is really important for the employer branding strategy. So this is it for this presentation, but not for the whole recruitment process. So right after the break, I will also show you how those two apps that we've just seen can also be integrated with the apps that we need for the next step of the recruitment process, which is the signature of the contract and the onboarding of new candidates. So make sure to stay in the room if that's something that's also interesting for you. Thank you. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer. Yes?
Who has access to the application? So is it everyone or only the person who get ad info? Or
What do you mean, the person who has access to the application? You mean the recruiter?
yes, and the other people. So there was you wrote a message to one other person,
Laurie Poiret, yes?
and only this one has access to this CV, or is it everyone in the company? Or
So in the configuration of the app, you can decide who can access the application or not, of course, because this is something very confidential. So usually it's only the HR team that has been selected in your company who can access it. And for instance, here I pinned Laurie Poiret, but she also needs to have the access of the recruitment app, otherwise she cannot see it. Yes. Other questions? Yes?
The application that applicants fill it website is customizable content.
Yes, it's customizable, yes.
Studio or website?
No, on the website you can upload it directly.
Thank you.
Yes? Oh, yes?
The application has to be published on the website, or it can be published on another kind of website?
Of course, the app is integrated with the Odoo website, yes. Yes?
Is it possible to capture a campaign code or a campaign indicator somewhere? So maybe you're running a particular recruitment campaign.
So you mean to have tracking of the job platforms?
Maybe multiple positions back to a particular campaign.
What do you mean exactly by campaign?
So you may run a campaign to, let's say, hire, I don't know, business analysts, for example, right? And maybe you're going to run a spring 2020 campaign to hire 30 business analysts, right? You actually want to track everything back.
Oh yes, you have a tracker possibility. When you configure the job position, in each job position you can directly configure a tracking link that you put on the job platform where the job is, and so when the candidate will apply through this link, it will appear on Odoo with the tracker. For instance, here the sources was a referral, but it can be LinkedIn or any other job platform or job fair, for instance.
Okay. And did you say that you can configure the different interview steps?
You can modify them, yes, very easily.
Any external integration to maybe a technical test platform for something like CodeView, for example?
So what we have, for instance, at Odoo, for the recruitment of technical profiles, we have personalized a little bit the applications, because for those candidates, we need to send them technical tests. So we modified a bit the application, and we created a button that directly generates a link to a technical test.
And is that held, is the results of that actually held within the app for the recruitment stage?
So yeah, it's one of it's a stage that has been added to the list. Yes, the button only appears when the candidate is at this stage of the recruitment process.
You then capture the results in there.
Yes, yes, you have the result in it. Yes. Any other questions? Was everything clear? Great, thank you then. welcome everyone again. So for those of you who couldn't assist to the first presentation, my name is Charlotte and I'm part of the recruitment team of Odoo. In this presentation, I will show you how the HR apps of Odoo can help you with the onboarding process of your new candidates. So again, as HR managers, you know that a typical day in HR involves a lot of multitasking and that it can take a lot of time if you don't have the good resources and organization. So in this presentation, I will show you how the integrated apps of Odoo can help you for the contract review and the onboarding of your new candidates. Is it better like that? Okay, great. I will hold it. Okay, so we all know from experience that onboarding new candidates can take a lot of time. There is first the whole period of the negotiation of the contract, then the candidates come to the office for the official signature of the documents. The job is done for the new employee, but it doesn't stop for HR, of course. Now we need to make sure that we have encoded the employee in the internal system, that everything has been sent to the social secretary. We need to order a computer, give him all the access that he needs. We need to let his team know about the first day of the candidate to make sure that the candidate feels expected and welcome in the company, and many other tasks. This is the Excel sheet that we were using at Odoo. I'm sure you all have something similar in your company, or the HR department of your company has something similar. We all know that it's a real nightmare to make sure that we haven't forgotten anything. So in this presentation, I will show you 4 apps that we use at Odoo: Recruitment, eSign, Employee, and Activities. And I will show you how they are all integrated with each other to make the onboarding process of your new candidate very fluid and easy. So let's have a look at the demo. I will go back to the fiche of Caroline Dupont, who was a candidate, and she successfully passed all the stages of the recruitment process. So I would like to make her an offer. I can put her on the contract proposal stage, and again, from the same employee, the candidate's form, I can directly here generate an offer link for her. So here I have to configure my simulation link. So she's an experienced developer, that's the title of her position. I would like to offer her an indeterminate period contract. She can have a new car, and as she has a lot of experience and she's a really great candidate, this is the budget I would like to give her. So here Odoo directly generates a link for me, but I can also directly send the offer from the send offer button. This generates an email that can be personalized. So for instance, I can put "Congratulations, Caroline." I can add some lines. You can configure your salary package by clicking on the link below. Looking forward to meeting you. Up, and I send the email. Again, this email will appear on the charter of the applications form here. And when I'm Caroline, I will receive this email. I will just click on the configure your package button, and this will redirect me to what we call the salary configurator. It's a really great tool that enables the employee to personalize their salary package based on their own needs. So there is a list of different options. For instance, here in this case, they can choose to have a company card. They can select the type of card they would have in the list. They can decide if they would like to have an internet subscription, phone subscription, more days of holidays. Again, this is what my company decided to put in the salary configurator, but this can be modified based on the needs of your company. And here on the right, I have an estimation of the gross salary, the monthly gross salary, but also of the net. And I have also a list of different advantages that my candidate will receive. So in the case of Caroline, she has just bought a new house, so she doesn't need a company car because what really matters for her is to have a big salary. She doesn't want a phone subscription. However, she needs some days of holidays because she needs time to work on the house, so she would like to take 9 days of holidays, representation fees, and that's it. So here again, I can see the estimation of my salary. This is modified each time that I select or do not select an option. For instance, if she wanted to take a company car, I can see that this is directly updated. But again, she doesn't want a company car, so let's not take it. The salary seems great. I'm very happy with this package, so I would like to accept the offer. So I can click on the review contract and sign button, but the system will ask me to fill in directly my personal data that will appear on my contract. So let's fill this. I'm a female. My name is Caroline Dupont. This is my birth date. Whoa, not so fast. Up. I was born in Belgium. Here is Belgium in Brussels. I'm Belgian. I need to put my ID. I also need to put the address where I live. So this is my address. I live in Grand Rosières. This is the zip code. Up, it's in Belgium. I live very close to the office, so there's only 5 kilometers home to work. I have to put my certificate, so I have a master's degree in computer science because I'm a developer. And I studied at the UCL. I have to put my email address again. This is my email address. Up, I put my phone number, my bank account if I would like to receive my salary in the end of the month. And I can also put the person we need to call in case of emergency. In this case, I would like the office to call my husband, Brad Pitt. And this is his phone number. I can also add the personal document that is required, for instance, my ID. Here, and I can also put the employee photo that will appear in the employee form. So this is me. And everything is completed. I can review, contract, and sign. Now the page will redirect me to the online version of my contract, where I will have a summary of all the options that I have taken, and I will still be able to check if everything is correct and sign directly online the contract. So I have to put my starting date. I would like to already start working this Monday. This is my address, and with this button it's very easy to see where exactly I still have data to fill. So next, this will redirect me to the signature, but of course before I have to make sure that everything in my contract is correct. But in this case everything is correct. I can sign my contract, so I just click there. I sign my contract, adopt and sign. I put today's date. Today is the 3rd of October. And I can validate and send the completed document. Congratulations, your contract has been sent to HR. Everything was done online, at home, at my own pace. I could really personalize my package based on what I wanted. So let's go now back on the Odoo dashboard of the recruiter. I can see here that it has generated a next activity for my recruiter that is called signature request. So if I click on it, I see here that Caroline Dupont has just signed a new contract. I click on it, and I can directly sign online the document just by clicking on Sign Document. Again, the arrows here help me to see where I need to put my signature here. Of course, before signing it, I will make sure that everything is correct, but here everything was correct, so that's perfect. I just put my signature, and I validate and send the completed document. Everything was done very easily. Again, the candidate didn't need to take an appointment with HR. Everything was done very easily, only with a few clicks. And now the candidate receives his copy of the contract online on his email inbox. Perfect, everything is done. So now if I go on the employee app of Odoo, here, I can have access of the contract of my employee. So here I can see where is she, Caroline Dupont. Here is her contract, perfect. And I have an overview of everything here. So I can see the starting date, the working schedules, I can have a summary also of all the salary information that she put, the personal document that she attached when she signed the contract, and here all the information regarding my salary structure. So everything is very clear. If I go back again on the employee app, here is Caroline Dupont. The fact that she signed the contract online directly link her employee form to this application. So if I click here, I can directly fill in all the information that I need regarding her. So I just edit it. She's a developer, so she's part of the R&D. This is her position, and her manager is gonna be Laurie Poiret. I can save it, and here at the bottom, I can also fill some other data, such as the work address. Private information is everything that she encoded when she signed the contract, but if she made a mistake at that time, I can very easily modify it here. I have all the HR settings, so I have to create her a user to be able to give her access to different applications. So here I will create a new one. Oops, this is her email address. Save. Oops, let's put just this. It doesn't work, that's okay. It's because she is already there, Caroline Dupont. I save it, and that's done. Everything is filled perfectly. Now on the same employee fiche, I see here I have a launch plan button. This button enables me to launch a plan for the onboarding of my new candidate. Here I have a list of different options, onboarding, offboarding, but again, if I need to create some specific plan, I can very easily create a new one and edit it. Here, she's a new candidate, so I would like to launch the onboarding plan. Here I'll launch the plan. And I will see on her employee form that it has generated a next activity directly here. This again can be modified just by clicking on the edit button. Perfect. And for instance, I would like to mark some checkbox to make sure I have everything for her. So for instance, I need to make sure that she has a computer, she has all the access, I need to send a welcome email to her team, I need to book some trainings for her, and I need to book a restaurant for the welcome lunch as well. So I just save it, and here I can see the list of activities. I can very easily check an activity that has been done already. So for instance, I have a computer, the access and the training, but still not the welcome email or the restaurant. That's okay. I just save it, and that's it. Again, on the same employee form here, I can also see very clearly the organization chart. So I can see that Laurie Poiret is her manager and Max Durand is the manager of Laurie Poiret. Okay, let's go back now on the presentation. Again, this presentation has shown you that with the HR apps of Odoo, you can really easily integrate the whole recruitment process of your candidate. The integration of all the flow, again, does not only make your company paperless, which is really important, but it definitely improves the candidate recruitment experience. It provides the new employee with a lot of flexibility because, again, with the signature of the contract online, he can really have a look at all the details of his contract, choose all the options that he wants at his own pace at home. He can have the time to discuss it with his family or his friends. It's very easy. It also shows that the company adapts itself to the needs of the employees, which is something that will definitely have an impact on the employer branding of your company. With the onboarding plan, we make sure that we do not forget anything for the first days of the employee, and this will, with this, the employee will feel welcome and expected. And we know that the first days in the company can have a big impact on the retention rate of the company. Again, this is also a huge gain of time for HR, and your HR team will be very grateful and will be very happy because they will be able to focus on the social aspect of the onboarding of the new candidates. We know that happy employees means better employer branding, and this means more CVs coming in, and the cycle continues. This is it for the presentation. Thank you for your time, and again, if you have any questions, I will be very happy to answer them. Yes.
About the onboarding plan, it looks very flexible. Is it? Are you able to filter out, for example, if you have 50 new employees that don't have the onboarding completed yet? Can you, from a list view, can you filter out?
What do you mean? To personalize it for the 50 employees?
No, I mean, as an HR manager, if you have just hired many these people, some of them you have completed the onboarding plan, but for some of them you have not completed all.
Yes.
Can you filter out and see which are not completed yet?
Aline, maybe you can help me with that question. Can you have, can you see for the different candidates what has been done already for some candidates and what still needs to be done for all the candidates? Can you have a report on that?
What do you mean by the?
So the question. So the question was if you have 50 new employees to onboard and you would like to see what still needs to be done for all the employees.
There is a interview. I don't know which one, but there is a view with all activities.
Do you want the microphone?
So from here you can find.
Yes, you can have everything about the activities. It's ready if the activities is not done but late, and green if it's in the future.
Okay. Yeah, very nice.
Yes.
Hello, I'm sorry. I'm not an HR professional, but I was wondering in terms of choosing the number of vacation days, how is that works in terms of regulations in the country where you need to have a certain amount of vacation? How does that work in terms of fairness among the employees who would eventually know that they have different kinds of vacation days?
Vacation?
This is as a choice in a contract, in a compensation and benefits as a scheme, from what I understand.
So the days that you can see in the salary configurator, it's added to the legal days that your country should give to all the employees of the country. And this is an option that the employee can have here. She wanted to have more days of holiday, but maybe another employee won't care. He will just have the legal days, but he would like to have a company car. So it's fair because it's based on the whole budget that you give to the employees. So she will not receive more money in the end. It just depends on the whole budget that you gave to your employee.
Interesting. I also have another question about the contract generation. Since the candidate generates the contract kind of him or herself, in terms of back and forth, if some terms and conditions are unclear, how does it happen? Because I know that you can edit it like later, as you said, that
yes,
the recruiter can edit. But what if the back and forth happening? Where is it happening? Is it happening offline, online? How is it?
Well, it depends on what your HR department would like to do. In our case, so we use the system, of course, and what we do is to call the candidates before to see if he has any questions, maybe to review the contract with him if he wants, but it depends on what your HR department wants. Sorry?
During the office call?
Yes. Yes?
How do you review the contract during the preparation of the employee, and how do you close your contract?
I cannot hear you very well, sorry.
So, how do you manage the review of the contract if the condition are difficult? The employee change the job position or something like that, and or if it is leaving the company, how do you close the contract with this system?
Maybe Olivia, can you answer it?
Actually, you can close the contract, create another one, and send from the contract a review of the salary. So she shown the recruitment part, but there is also a link to do an avenant to the contract.
Yes?
Can I add new options like bicycles and maybe credit cards and whatever? Or and can I quit, for example, the car? Because I'm like, I don't think that everybody in our company, most of them want a car, but they.
You are asking if it's customizable.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less. Yes, it's customizable from the payroll application because everything is based on the payroll rules and structures. So there, it's more or less our structure for us in the company. But yes, it's customizable. But to customize the configurator itself, you need to be a developer to be able to change it. Yeah.
Yes.
For which person is the onboarding activity planned? So is it only one person, or is it possible to take two?
You can decide to which this is assigned. So when I go here, when I edit it here, you see I can decide who should be assigned to the activity. So I can change the person very easily if I want to.
But there are different persons?
You can also create and customize a plan for a lot of people in the company. So if there is more than one responsible for the human resource, or for the manager, for the IT department, etc., you can generate a few activities for different people. Yes.
And if there's a whole team just doing, for example, the computer thing, and it's not only one special person who can do it, it's not possible to do this like...
Right now it's based on only one person, yes.
Thank you.
Yes?
Do you have an application for the training?
It's the e-learning.
Yeah.
Link between onboarding and training, for example?
Yes, it's the next talk.
Yes?
Yeah, I don't think I caught that part. What if after you make an offer and someone doesn't want it, they can just decline?
Yeah, then it just declines, it doesn't sign the contract.
By not signing or actually saying no, I decline?
Usually what the candidates do for the moment is just send us an email to tell us, sorry, I would like to decline this offer, and that stops there.
So that's not really incorporated in the solution?
No. There is
no, but in the stage of the contract, you can put that. I mean, when the contract has been signed, you can put that it's running when the contract has been signed, and you can also decide to not make it running. I don't know what the name of the stage is exactly, but maybe decline. I'm not sure.
I'd like to be able to have a record that we made an offer, and then somebody went to see the offer after reading and said, I decline, and then people decline what
you can just reply to the email, it's not for me, and that's it. But it's not integrated. There is no button in the configurator to say, no, I don't want this offer.
Other questions? Yes?
Yeah, maybe I missed it, or it was not in this talk, but there was talk about the employee resume, where you put the experience and the languages and so on.
Yes.
Is it only on the employee or on the applicant as well?
What?
It should be on the applicant as well, because when you get...
You mean if you can see the CV of the candidate on the applicant form?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, I will show you. Oh. So here, if I go back on the application, I have here the CV of my candidate.
Okay, but that's just the PDF, but the employee...
It's not integrated with the resume on the employee form.
Okay.
Ah, okay, sorry.
The next step, because at first you get the CV
it's the next
on
step, yes.
And then it should be linked onto the employee.
I understand.
Other questions? No? Well, thank you, everyone.
I suppose you notice I'm not like that. So I'm not Fred Gilson. It's just my colleague. You see him. He just has no voice, so I will do the presentation for him today, and he will try maybe to answer question, or we'll see after. So yeah, as you see, at Odoo, we have a lot of, so Charlotte ended with the way that having happy employee is really important. I will maybe say customer a lot of time because I'm working in the customer service. So I work a lot with customers, so I say so. So yeah, it is really important to have your employee happy, and I will not tell you what to do because there is a lot of things to do in the company, and I suppose you know a lot. Here what I will show you is just tools that we put in Odoo to help your employee to save time, to have funny time sometime, and also to some tools to learn, because what we know is that an employee is happy when he gets recognition, when he grows, he learns, and when there is fun. So this is more or less what can help happiness at work. And this is what we have to think when we will have new tools in a company, is what will help to delight our employees. So the first thing, what we are doing at Odoo, for example, the onboarding. We have 2 weeks of training when all employees started, and it's just because they have to learn the product. Because Odoo is, you notice, there is a lot of application. It's easy, but there is a lot of things to know, and so they have 2 weeks of training, and we are doing that with the e-learning. So I will show you directly what we have on odoo.com. We created an e-learning where all our new employees will start working with. So if the Wi-Fi will work. Okay, so here we have our e-learning at Odoo. Of course, here this is an example of what we are doing. You can adapt also that to your company, to your needs. So here I am connected at myself, and you can see that my current rank is I'm a hero, and I pretend to be a superhero if I gain more XP by checking videos and by answering questions. So for example, you can see that for the CRM, we have videos, and so I can watch my first videos on that subject, and then at the end of my videos I have some quiz, and I can answer to those questions, and based on that I will gain some points, and this is how I can have more experience on my profile. This is like a game, but in fact our employees are knowing more things, and this is not just for new employees. This is also for me. I'm working for 7 years now at Odoo, and we are still learning because we have our new version. We have new version every year, so we are always in need of learning things, and this is a really nice tools to learn things. Also, then here I will not be able to show you that, but we can also see that what my XP that are on my profile, and so the other employees can see who am I and my level. So here this is the onboarding. So this is the e-learning that we have for employees, and as I said, you can adapt according to your needs. Another important thing is how to motivate and reward your employee, because as I said, recognition is really important. What we did at Odoo, for example, we have a nice tool is the gamification. So we send challenges to customers, and here you know that when we have a new version, we still have bugs. So what we did in Odoo just before the release of the version 13 is we launched the bug hunter. So it was a challenge for all the developers to be able to find bugs, and they got some XP also when they find good bugs, complicated bugs, important bugs, and when sometimes they also find a solution to fix the bug. And so at the end, the three most developers who find the most interesting bugs got a reward at the end. So this is one of the things that we launched. For example, in my team, so in support, we also launched some gamification about the number of tickets that we answer to the customer. Here, it didn't really work for me because at the end, they wanted just to do numbers, and so the quality was not so good in the answer, or they didn't want it to do, they just wanted to do easy ticket and not complex one. So we just need to also be careful and find the right balance with the challenge that you found. So maybe it can be a nice thing in order to maybe challenge the entire team instead of doing just individual challenge. So for that also you have to find the right way to challenge your employees. Another nice thing is to provide some badge. So for example, you are on here I'm on the profile of Mark, and I can grant Mark a badge. So a good example is he worked on a request of a customer. It took more than 5 days to solve the solution, and he was very involved in that. He really helped the customer, and so I just wanted to reward him. And what I will do is just grant a badge to Mark. And so you can, of course, customize the different badge that you would like to grant. Here I will find a good job, and I will just add a description. You well manage your accounting ticket. Well done. And so this is a little thing, so I did that in 2 clicks. And this employee will be very happy because I noticed that he did something, and I reward him, and it will also be on his profile, so all other employees will see that he received that. And this is simple things that can also make the employee happy with that. So, and of course, it's not just manager who can grant a badge to other employees, but all employees can grant badge to each other. And yeah, at Odoo, we are giving some funny badge also, we get some, for example, we have one badge that we can find only when we are in the kitten mode. So this is when we write kitten in the URL instead of demo, and then not all employees can find that, and so we got this kind of things. It's nice. Odoo is also there to save time. So. Oops, sorry. So, for example, we have the approval. So the application approvals. So what we have a lot is, for me, the people of my team would like to work from home, and so they send me a message to see can I work from home that day. Okay, I will say okay, no problem for me. So then after that they receive my approval, so they will send that to the HR, and the HR say yeah, my manager approved. So and we are losing time also. Here what we can do is just create a new request. and then directly the manager will follow that. We can also add the HR, and so everybody will know everything in just one click. I don't know what. I cannot add new request. But yeah, you can just add in. Okay. So you just add a description, you request the people, because it's not always the same, so it's not just your manager, and then you submit it and the person will be notified. So of course you have to add information. You save and you submit, and directly the people concerned will have a notification and next activity. And so it will be easy also for that person to just say, oh, okay, I receive a request from an employee, I accept or not. And so in 2 clicks everybody is aware of that. Here you can of course do approval with everything, so if you have a business trip to approved, or it's really general, and you can create all requests that you want. We also have another nice tool to save time, is the lunch. So here now, employees can just in 1 or 2 clicks order the lunch. Before that, we got like a spreadsheet and yeah, also just between employee there were also sorry. Between employees, they were working with tricounts to know who needs to pay back to others and stuff like this. Here, it's really easy. How we are working is just people give money to the company will order for them, and in 1 click you have your lunch. So of course there are people who prefer to go to the shop, and because it's a nice break also. There are others who prefer not. So at Odoo we have different people who love the lunch or not, and it really depends on the customer, on the employee. But I heard a lot that when the time is passed, or when it's 10:35 and they forgot to register the lunch, they're not happy. So because they will have to go to the shop. Another important things for your employee is to socialize between each other. So when your employee know better each other, they would like to help each other and better work with each other, like Fred and I were just doing. So what we have at Odoo is the discuss. I don't know if you were there yesterday and you saw the concert with the Odoo band, but this is one of the channels that we have. We discussed a lot here, so we got a lot of discussion concerning what we'll do and what song we will play and stuff like this. So here you can see this is my personal channel. I have really a lot, and of course there are some concerning my work. So this is my team in India, team in San Francisco, but I have other stuff like the Odoo band or Odoo bike, Odoo run, and this is just people who like the same things that are on that channel, and so we'll discuss about that also. And it's create links between employees, so that's really nice. Another point is, as Charlotte just showed you before, there is the salary configurator. So I will not show you that now because she just showed it in a very nice way just before. So, but that's really good because employee can just choose what they want, what they need, and so this is really nice. employee can also ask for having an appraisal. So they just have to go to their employee profile. So here I mark, and I will ask, just request an appraisal. What the employer can do is just put the time when they need to do the appraisal. So, for example, at Odoo, we put that you can request an appraisal between 6 months and a year and a half. There are people who are in need of frequently appraisal, and there are others who don't really need that. And so we give the choice to the employee to request an appraisal or not. And it's just in one click, they request the appraisal. And so there is the same an email that you can adapt according to your needs, and send it to the manager. So when you send the request, you have to put your desired deadline, so when you would like to do. That's true that for me, I will have 7 years at Odoo the 10th of October, so I will ask this one. And send the request. And here the request is sent to the manager, who is Michelle. I will confirm. And in some clicks, the appraisal is sent, and all the parties, so the employee and the manager, have the documents to need to fill, and they can do the appraisal. Of course, those tools here are there to help the employee to save time, etc. But it's always good to talk to your manager when you would like to also prepare to have an appraisal. So here it was different tools that we have in Odoo, and not all of them are perfect, we know that also, but a lot are really nice and are already used by our company, because we are the first tester of Odoo, and so we know if it's working or not. Just to conclude that yeah, this is just tools to help to have to have happy customer, happy employee in your company. Yeah, but this is just a contribution, of course, because you know that this is really linked to the culture of your company, and yeah, so I hope you have seen nice tools, interesting tools, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me or Fred. Yeah.
This decision to see how we can make the approval flow.
The approval flow? Yeah, I didn't enter in the details because it's really shown on other, on other talk. Yeah.
A question about online learnings. Are they created on a certain platform? Are they based on Odoo platform, or is it articulated? What kind of?
No, it's on the Odoo platform. It's an application, so it is the e-learning platform.
And anybody can create those, or do you have a special learning manager who's creating all the learnings?
You have e-learning managers that you can, yeah. No problem. Okay, so thank you very much. everybody. I am Aline Preyon and not Caroline Moons. I am part of the product owner team and I am responsible for the HR application in Odoo and so I'm working in the R&D. In this talk I will speak about everything we can use to manage the time of employees. So manage the time of employees can be a nightmare for everyone, for the employee himself, for the human resource manager and also for the manager of the employee. For instance, there is leaves, but there is a lot of type of leaves. There is illness, there is unforeseen absences, there is the attendance. My employee is there, is not there, and you cannot know what to do. And it's a nightmare to check who is there or who is not there, and why. So I will show you basically 3 apps. Attendances. So attendances is an app to manage mainly the sign-in and the sign-out of the employee. Time off, which is to manage leaves, and planning, which is a new brand application in Odoo to manage the planning of employees. So let's go to the product to see attendance module. So it's a simple application that allows to make sign in and sign out. It's the this way to do is practical for people who are on the road. For instance, a consultant who can make sign in, sign out all over the world. But in Odoo we have also the kiosk mode, and the kiosk mode is for to put a tablet in the entrance of a building, and you can either scan a badge or identify manually. For instance, I will identify myself manually, and so we can say, let's say, le report n'a pas de. Where is Amine? Which is Amine? And goodbye. So the kiosk mode, so either you use it simply without the scan badge or the manually or the PIN code, but you can on the employee form generate a badge or a PIN code. I will show you. So, for instance, in HR settings, you can edit, you can generate the badge, you can enter a PIN code, and print the badge. It can be next activities in the onboarding plan to generate the badge of the employee, and so the badge is there. In the attendance module, I come back to the attendance module. There is a little reporting to know how many hours your employees have worked, and you can choose the way you want to see it. Now let's speak about the time of application. So the time of application is a really used application because it must be usable for an employee, but also for a manager, and mainly for the responsible for the human resources. We have to manage everything with the payroll and etc. etc. So let's take an example with an employee. So the employee can, the employee can go to the application, and there is a completely new dashboard with how many leaves are already taken, how many remaining, and I can easily do a time off request for 2 days, for instance. So, and then I can check. And my when I created the holiday, the system took the one I can use first because of the remaining days. So when I do a request, my manager can have the activities, receiving activities to approve my leaves. And so, for instance, if I go there, I take these holidays, and I can check that Ronnie Hart has been 3 days off in 2019 for sick reason. And in the same department, I have already on October, I have already some leaves, so I can take a decision easier. Do I approve the leave or do I refuse it? So I can validate it and approve all my leaves like this. As managers, I have a menu to approve all leaves also. I don't have leaves to approve. And as responsible for human resources for the payroll, I can take all time off and make the second approval if the manager did the first one. About the first and second approval, you can, for each leave type, select who has to make the second approval and who has to make the first approval. And you can also decide to not make approval at all. So I can show you the time off types. For instance, here I have the annual time off. We could say we will do, so here there is the validation, so there is no validation, only the time off officer, the team leader, or both. And if I select both, I can select, or time off officer, I can select who is the time off officer to manage this. It's allowed to, for instance, there is someone who are managing only sick leaves and someone else who are managing annual leaves, for instance. I can do mass assign. At the beginning of the year, you could say everyone can have 10 days of leaves. So I can create for all my company annual time off, and I will allocate 10 days. I can approve and validate. And all the time off allocations are there. 10 days for all my employees. In the reporting to manage leaves, you can have some reporting by employees, but also by type. For instance, an employee comes to your office and asks you what is his leave status. You can say simply admin description, no, employees, and you can say that there is 26 remaining leaves for the for the Mitchell admin, and you can see that there is 10 plus 20 and already 4 taken. So this is for the time of application. And now the planning. So the time of application is integrated with the planning. Actually in the planning I will show you directly in the system. In the planning there is some gray if I am on holiday, I have the one it's gray in the case of the Gantt view. So this is the new application about the planning. It could be managed. It could be useful for a company who don't work with a fixed schedule, because on the employee you can manage employee schedule, but it's easy for employees who are working from 8 to 5 p.m. But it's not really easy for a company like hospital with nurses, or with for restaurant with barman and chef and so on. So we did a new application to manage planning for those kind of company profile. So this application allows you to work by employees or to work by open shift, by role. Here I can go by role, and for instance, I have a restaurant and I need a barman for tonight. I can create here I will create my role, let's say a bartender. So I have an open shift for bartender here, and I can assign it easily to the employee. Everything is working fine with drag and drop, so you can change easily things. And you can say with the gray here, you can say that the employee is not available for this time. You can send the schedule to your employees, and your employees receive something, this planning, so he can know his planning, and he can see also the open shift. So he can take the open shift available to work. You can also duplicate weeks. So, for instance, I would like to copy previous week because I don't want to reschedule everything anytime. So you can schedule easily the next week. And to ease the user experience, there is the first menu, which is a calendar actually, because it's for the employee himself. The first when he clicks on the application, he gets directly his own planning for the week. Okay, so to conclude this talk, there is a lot of application in Odoo. So managing the time of in Odoo, it allows you to centralize all information. You have the planning, you have the employee schedule, you have the attendance, you have the time off. Everything is in a single app, and you can do everything. The HR manager can get information and don't lose information. The manager can verify everything and know if employees are there or not there, and take some decision accordingly. And the employee, it's really easy for him to check his planning, to check his holidays, to follow the process of his holidays request. And that's it.
Question on planning. I know, obviously, if you've got an employee in a user account, they can log in and see everything. But if you have an employer who wants to manage the planning but doesn't want to give the employee a log on, will it still work, or must you have a user account?
The employee doesn't have access to the...
Yeah. Would they still get the email?
Actually, you receive anyway an email with the planning, but it's not like this.
It's
not this one. This one is like a portal access.
I
Yes.
get that, but it would still work. They would still get an email saying this is your shift.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. How different is time off from leave?
Time off and leave are the same application. We renamed.
So in 13, time off has replaced leave, right?
No, actually, yes. In 13, the time off application has been the leaves application has been renamed into time off.
Time off, right? So
Yeah. So it's the same application.
Is there a report for the manager to compare the theoretical time from the contract of the employee with the actual attendance time?
It's the next talk. It's about it's more about payroll to pay salary. So there is not there is a kind of comparison, but I will explain afterwards.
I cannot see what is the actual time. He was coming Monday to Friday, 8 hours, to compare this with the contract.
Right now, no, there is not.
Do you manage work location, especially for people who work at home, partially part-time?
We have there is only a field on employee form to say which location is, but internally at Odoo we are using time off type to manage home working, for instance. So there is it's a kind of request of time off to request, but it could be also managed with approval application.
So when they are at home, those people on time off, they are at work too. So it's
yes, but as you see time off, but you see the reason. So it could be just it's not time off. It could be home working.
Is there a relation between the skill of an employee and the attendance? Can we consider if we make the skill of an employee as an attendance?
I don't understand the question.
When we make a planning for an employee.
Yeah.
And
no, there is no link. There is no link between the planning and the attendance. Okay. It's two separate applications. Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same question, but I was asking, is there any connection between leave of the time of application and the attendance? Does it show that this employee is in a time off? Like when you go to the employee profile, the red is absent and the green is.
Actually, we have only.
About time off.
Actually, we can only see, for instance, on Mitchell admin, I can see that I have signed in this morning or at 4 p.m. So I have signed in, but if I am on holiday, I will see a little plane. I don't know if I can show you. So for instance, Arnold Orton is not signed this morning. And if I am on holiday, there is a little plane with on holiday till. It's the only link there is between all applications. It's the presence on the employee form, but there is no link directly between apps.
Yeah, nowadays a lot of companies don't use this clock in, clock out anymore because it's too much of a hassle for employees. It's a source of stress.
Mm-hmm.
So what they like to do is to log in the overtime. So it's sort of something a bit like flex time. So they consider that you do 8 hours per day. But they say if you're in a rush, you need to give more time. So is there a way you can actually log in the overtime you did, so increase some kind of a time count, so you can get that time off?
You can. It's not directly managed, but you can change. If you go to manager attendances, you can record the work hours here. I don't know if it's the answer to the question. You can just edit. I know you have to enter a date. No, there is no the. There is timesheet. Yes, there is. Yes, there is the timesheet application. I didn't show it there, but the timesheet applications are allowed to work on the project, and for the it's allowed to timesheet on project or for consultant, for instance.
So is there any connection between the timesheet and the attendance? Like we can say he attended 8 hours but worked on projects for 3 hours?
Actually, I don't have the timesheet app installed in my database, but there is a report that allows to compare the timesheet and the attendance. But it's only a reporting because sometimes the timesheet is used to, there is a minimum of timesheet. For instance, you send an email, it takes 5 minutes, but you timesheet 30 minutes because the policy of your company is to timesheet more than a minimum of 30 minutes. So the timesheet is not really the reality because your company policy make that you have to timesheet more than the reality in the attendance. So, and the timesheet in Odoo is more linked to the project, to manage a project and the cost of project. Okay. C'est tout? Hello everyone, I'm still not Caroline Moons, and for those who were not there in the previous talk, I am Aline Prayon from the R&D team and product owner team specifically, and I am working for the applications linked to the HR management. So now I will show you the payroll application. The payroll application has been improved a lot to manage the payroll, but to add some features we mainly need in Belgium. So we added some feature in the payroll modules, and we did the localization, the Belgian localization for the employee sector. So for Belgian guy, it's the Commission Paritaire 200. So let's introduce the talk with a little story. So 10 years ago, so it's Odoo 10 years ago. It's a little company with a few people, and there is in the center of the picture Cécile, who managed everything: recruitment, contracts, leaves, payroll, fleet, facility management, furniture, travels, and I forgot lunch, and everything linked to the office management, human resource management, and so on. So Odoo today, it's that. There is in Belgium there is 350 people, and now to report our leaves and everything about the attendance of employees to our payroll office, which is another company. It can take 2 days, 3 days, because it's really time consuming. And so we decided to work a little bit on the payroll application to make everything integrated. I will directly show you the payroll application. So when you go to the in the middle. When you go to the payroll application, so the first screen you see is the employees. Why? Because employees is the main payroll. It's the payroll actually. So you can see the payroll, and you can see there is a little warning there. The warning means that there is something wrong with the working contract. So either there is no contract, or the contract is about to expire, or something like that. You have also the contracts. Charlotte shown the contract earlier today, and in the contracts you can have all information about the start date and the working schedule, the salary information, document and attachment of salary. It's, for instance, it's when your employee have to pay some fees to the government or something like that. It's in Belgium, it could happen, and so it's we added these features, and there is also the credit time management. So, for instance, someone who wants to start to work part-time during its contract. The real new features in the payroll is the work entries. So the work entries, it's a kind of pictures of what the employee was supposed to do. So there is a schedule on the employee form in the contract that say my employee has to work 5 days a week from 8 to 5 p.m. And during the month, my employee takes some holidays. So we can see there is holidays there. There is normal attendance here. And sometimes there is some conflict. For instance, here I have a time off which is not approved. So I can directly, as a manager, as human resource manager, I can approve the time off directly or refuse it. So let's approve the leaves, and I approve this one too. So everything has been approved. And so I should be able to generate time. Ah no, there is still some conflict. So actually I should have do this. I can see only my conflict, and so I can also approve this one. So there is no more conflict. So if I come back, I can generate my payslip. I have 7 payslip. So this is a batch of payslip. For instance, you have 350 employees, and you have the pay of October. So this is my batch from 1 to yes, there is from 1 to 31 of October, and there is 7 payslip. A payslip contains the number of days and hours the employee did last month, the salary computation according to the rules. I will show you then all the rules, the possibility with rules, and accounting information, because actually I can directly, and even from my batch, to create draft entry for the accounting application. If I create draft entry, I won't show you the accounting part because I'm not, I will stay in payroll, but I can generate work entries, and then I can generate, with the SEPA, I can generate the SEPA file to pay the salaries, to send to the bank to pay the salaries. Ça a marché. And so I can do the payment here. So what is interesting too with the payroll application is the reporting. So for instance, I can manage the number of time off the people is right at the beginning of the year. I don't know in each country, but in Belgium we can have some time off according to the previous year work. There is also meal voucher. We can compute the number of meal voucher. The paid time off, we can generate automatically the allocation request in the time off application. And we can manage some Belgian right now, because it's linked to the localization of Belgium, but the DMFA, which is a legal report for the Belgium. Actually, all the payroll is based on some structure types. So, for instance, here I have a basic structure for employee and worker, but for the Belgium, we did the Belgian employees, which is so this type. We can decide. We can say it's a monthly wage or it's a hourly wage. We can say the default pay scheduled, the default working hours for this working time, and the default work entry type. In each work structure type, we can define some structure. So the structure is here we can see the monthly pay, and there is a lot of rules, and so everyone can create some rules according to their need or their legal statement in their country. So the structure is a feature in Odoo, and you can do according to your country. You can do new structure to manage your payroll. In the reporting, there is an interesting report here, which is for instance, here you can see the rate between the paid time off and unpaid time off, the absenteeism rate, and everything according to the salaries. You can see here by department the average of salary, the gross salary, etc. by department and by month here. Etc. About reporting, there is also an interesting reporting about the payroll in employees. It's about contracts. So you can see the turnover rate, the full-time equivalent in your company, and make some reporting for your human resources department and payroll. In conclusions, with the payroll, it allows really to save time because everything is integrated, and in one click I created the work entries, and then I manage a few conflicts, and then I created the whole payslip of my companies. It avoids mistakes because there is no link with other software. There is no export, re-import, and it's flexible because you can do your own rules, your own structure, and you can also create your work entry type. So each leaves can be linked to a work entry type. And then, but you can create, for instance, for sick leaves. In some countries, sick leaves is not paid in the same way if you are the first week and the first month or something like that. So you could have different work entry type according to the different type of sick leaves, for instance. The conclusion of the day is everything. I don't know if everyone followed all the talk of the day, but what we wanted to show today is that from the recruitment to the departure of the employees, I forgot to show you something in the employee form. It's interesting. So we can manage the departure of the employees to manage a notice period or something like that. We put the reason here, and then we can manage we can compute the notice period duration. It's also according the rules in the payroll and according the company and country specific. And so from the employee form, you can get access to everything. The employee can have access to the payslip. Everything can be managed from the employees. And so from the recruitment till the departure of the employee, everything can be managed in only one tool, which is Odoo, and everything is well integrated. And so we have seen recruitment, contract, track time, leaves request, approvals, fleet management, onboarding, payroll, make some report, KPI, appraisals, everything is in Odoo. And that's it.
May I ask, are there any localizations for other countries available?
Right now, we are working only on Commission Paritaire 200 for the Belgium company. For those who want, it's like accounting localization. I don't know if you know how to work with accounting localization, but we can propose to partners or other people to make the localization and then to contribute to collaborate with Odoo to include the localization in the software.
Are there specific? Are you planning to do that, or for Germany?
If someone in Germany is interested, if a partner is interested to do the localization, he can contact us and we can see how to collaborate with him. But even in Belgium, we have only the Commission Paritaire 200, which is not the full Belgian localization. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see anything about the offboarding exit process for employees. It's been a challenge. I don't know if in our team it has been addressed.
About the offboarding, do you see? Yes, yes.
Exit, employee exit.
Yeah. Did you see the talk about the onboarding? There is the same tool for the offboarding, so you can generate some activities to don't forget to do some stuff when an employee leaves the company.
Okay.
And there is activities and there is some tool according to your localization to manage the payroll aspect of the payroll. The payroll.
How about multiple versions of payroll, different payrolls? Like you may have different payrolls denominated in different currencies. You have some employees, for example, earning in euro, other employees earning in US dollars, others.
You can do as many structure as you want. So and on the contract, when you do a contract with employees, you select the structure type is in. So if you have one employee and one worker, for instance, yeah. you can have two structures one for the workers and one for the employees. So it's possible, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have two questions. My experience has been that once you're paying like a large amount of people, you run your payroll for the month. 15, 16,000, 18,000 people, you run the payroll at one, it's really slow. I don't know if we've been able to address that.
You mean about generate the work entries?
Payroll, yeah.
We will see. No, actually it will take some time, but maybe 30 seconds or something like this.
It takes a lot more than that.
I don't know. Actually, we would like to use it in Odoo in next month, in a few months, and we will already check with 350 people, and then we will see. It's like everything in Odoo. When you have a lot of accounting entries, it's.
Okay, the second question is, what is the plans for pension? When somebody onboards as a staff and now goes into pension, there seems to be no provision for that.
There is no?
No, actually that's the offboarding. When an employee exits from active employment to now pension, superannuation, like an employee is no longer active. Now you move that employee to the pensioners payroll.
Yeah.
To pension, senior citizen, retirement, where they get retired and they get.
And there is nothing in.
Salary monthly as pension, yeah.
Actually, in Belgium, We don't. It's the government. We manage the pension, so there is nothing. There is nothing in Odoo to manage a pension.
So we are from the public sector. So we are trying to manage pension. We had to build something and treat the pension like a normal payroll instance. But it would be nice.
You could do a structure to manage pension and so you can the employee can change his contract. It's no more a contract, but you could make a contract with the structure pension, and so you could manage.
Yeah, that's how we do that. Okay, no problem.
Yes.
The salary configurator that you use at Odoo, like Fabien showed us, where you can choose the car and more days off. So is that a feature that is part of the payroll application?
It's linked because we compute the salary, the net, and etc. It's the payroll engine which compute all the information you see in the configurator.
As customers, we can use this kind of feature also. I want to offer to my people the same choice. I have the salary and costs, and then they can choose whether they take a small car or a big car. Or
yes, it's just that to customize the web page the employee can see, it needs some technical skills. Yes, because it needs some technical customization to do it, but yes, it's
available for us.
Yes, it's in Odoo, it's available, yes.
The payroll application is enterprise only or enterprise?
Payroll is enterprise only, yes.
Which is going to be found in the pricing.
It's not yet in the pricing. Right now, try. You can try. Install it today.
We were quoting our customers today, we couldn't find it.
What?
We're quoting our customers today, we couldn't find it. So,
in the pricing page, no, it's not yet.
Maybe we'll.
I think we didn't yet updated because I don't know if there is a lot of new modules in 13 version, and I don't know if everything is in the homepage of product.
Do you automatically compute in the work entries the extra hours from worker based on the attendance?
Right now, no. It's we have already a task to do it. We would like, in the first time, we would like go further with the attendance application to manage overload and decide what to do with this overtime. So, for instance, create an allocation or pay it in the salary. And in the future, we would like to make a comparison between the planning and the attendance and the theoretical schedule of the employee to compare everything. And so
manager validation.
Yes.
When is the future?
When is the future? I don't know.
Do you have the functionality, for example, when you generate the payslip? You have to plan on printing them on PDF and allow the employee to
yes.
put them online.
I forgot to show you offline. So there is 2 points.
Online.
So it's integrated with documents, the application documents. So the employee from his profile, for instance, if I go there, in my profile, I can see I have 2 documents and it's my payslips. And the payslip is a PDF report, so you can send it by email to people.
Frequently, you allow to cancel payslip. We often have customers, when in the batch, they confirm all the payslip and they just say, oh, we make a mistake, we want to cancel it.
It's not a cancel. It's not really a cancel. It's a credit note. But yes, it's you can yes. But we would like to. I will check that to implement this cancel because we can cancel payslip and mistake happens a lot. Yes.
Just maybe on this question. In some instances, there is a need to have the line manager validate the payroll before you run it. For example, you run some draft payroll, send it to manager who approve before you actually run it.
No, there is no that kind. No.
Just straight running the payroll.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there is no. There is the possibility to check everything, and you can give the access right to anyone you want, but there is no an approval mechanism in the. There is not check feature.
I'm thinking public sector.
Okay.